What up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with some hot topics. These are going to be the week's hot. This is the week's hottest topic. This is number 68, and this is also the week's hottest topics for the week of June 19th through June the 24th, you guys. So, before we go ahead and hop into these hot topics, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys are not subscribed, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. If you guys know the routine, you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on those post notifications, you guys. So with that out of the way, without further ado, let us discuss what is hot and what is trending for the week of June the 19th through June the 24th, shall we? All right, you guys, so first things first, I do want to give a little bit of a update on what's going on with me. So you guys have, if you guys looked at my community tab, you guys would know that I had an issue with my previous apartment where they said that I owed them money when I didn't because they got a payment for it. Well, I got an email from them yesterday saying that it has been rectified and that they have reached out to the collection agency that had it and trying to get it removed, and they're going to get it removed for me. So we're doing that, and I'm also looking into filing a lawsuit against them for that. So yeah, so hopefully soon enough that'll come off of my credit, and I can then get back to looking for an apartment, you guys. So now the stories this week. Let's start up with the thing that happened last night, you guys. So I'm actually filming this on Friday morning. So let's start up with the verses, you guys. Did you guys watch that shit last night? So the verses was between Omarion and Mario, and I grew up with both Mario and Omarion. They came out like B2K came out in the early 2000s. Because I think I was still in middle school when B2K first came out. Actually, I was in middle school when B2K and Mario came out, because I remember I was in the 7th grade when Braid My Hair came out. So Mario must have came out when I was in the 6th grade. No, he came out, 6th grade. Because 7th grade was when Braid My Hair came out. And I remember that. So that versus, you guys, I don't know what that was. And I, honest to God, feel bad for anybody who paid to go see that shit, because that was a disaster. The vocals were just not there for a lot of people last night. Mainly Omarion. When Omarion kept singing, and he kept saying he couldn't hear himself, I'm like, I wish you heard yourself, because you sound horrible. I was like, did he warm up before the verses? Because it was just, he was off key, he was pitchy. It was just like, nigga, what is this? Like, when you think about Omarion's hits versus Mario's hits, honestly, you guys, I couldn't tell you, but Braid My Hair and his first song that he sampled off of Biz Markie, those are the only two songs from Mario that I can tell you guys straight up that I know. Other than that, I don't know anything else from Mario. With Omarion, I know Gots to Be. I know his first single from his first album, where he dancing in the dark. I can't remember the name of that song. I know Touch. Touch is not a favorite song of mine, but I know Touch. I know Icebox. Like, Omarion has the hits without even having B2K. And then you think about B2K, you know all those hits. But when he was singing, it was just like, what in the pure hell is this? It sounded really bad. So if I were to give somebody the verses, I would actually give it to Mario. And then also with the verses, I noticed one thing with both of them. It was like, y'all not playing y'all's hits. Y'all are playing. It's like y'all are it's like this is a listening party, because y'all are playing new shit that we don't know. Because I saw a lot of people in the comments like, what is this? We don't know this. Man, I really do feel bad for anybody who paid to go see that shit, because I would have been pissed. Then, so I was on you guys know I don't use Facebook, but I was on Facebook last night, and I saw one of my good friends from middle school through high school. I've known her since then. Since middle school. Her name is Tierra. She was like, when are Omarion and Mario going on, and this was my time. This was about like 9:30 or so, and I had to text her. I mean, I didn't text her. I left a comment. I'm like, girl, they're not going on until about 10:30 tonight. She was like, what? I'm like, yeah, go look at Versus page, Instagram page, because when Versus went live, it was about when they went live my time. I think it was like 8 o'clock. I think it was like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. No, it was 8 o'clock. It was about 8 or so. And I went and looked at, and here's a strange thing with Versus. Like, I missed Versus when it first originally started, when it was the artists getting together, just playing their hits. I missed Versus from the pandemic. Give me that Versus back. I don't need this concert version of Versus. I don't like it. I'm on the tail end of saying fuck Versus, because when I got into the chat last night, I got a DM from Versus asking me that I want the playlist and all this kind of. Do I want the playlist? Do I want this? Do I want that? I'm like, oh my God, not an automated message from Versus. I just want Versus to go back to what it used to be, like when we had when we had Babyface and child, who was Babyface going up against? Who did Babyface go up against? And it was, I mean, Babyface and Teddy Riley. I'll never forget it. Like, take me back to Babyface and Teddy Riley. Oh, that first one. Oh, God, that first one when they had all them sound issues. When Teddy Riley wanted to have a whole entire band there, and we were literally in the beginning. I mean, we were in the throes of the pandemic. So take me back to that kind of that type of Versus. I'll even say Brandy and Monica's kind of Versus. That was fun because it was literally just Brandy and Monica. They were on the stage. They were talking. They were big upping each other, and they were singing. Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight. Like, I'll take that. Was it Patti and Gladys? I think it was Patti and Gladys. Like, I'll take that. But what we got today, it is a full-on concert. They have a pre-show. It's a pre-show. Then you got the act before the main act, which that was a hot mess with Ray J. Oh, Ray J. Oh, bruh, the singing Ray J. When he was singing One Wish, I was like, oh my God. I always knew Ray J wasn't the best singer. Well, Ray J ain't no singer at all. Like, a lot of y'all are proving that y'all are not live artists, that y'all are artists in the booth. You go in the booth, you sing, your engineer mix and masters that shit so well that we don't know y'all can't sing that well. Cause I mean, God damn. And then Jeremiah got out there and sang. I was like, nigga, what is this? Promise you, if I was there, I would have asked Wiz and Timbaland for my motherfucking money back. But I know it's gonna live in infamy on social media. That is gonna, because I'm seeing the clips from last night, hilarious. I really did feel bad for Omarion. I'm like, dude, I'm really like, did Omarion like not warm up before he came out on stage, or has Omarion just been catfishing us for years at this point? Because bruh man's vocals was not there. And it wasn't that it's not like he can't sing. It was just that he was off key, and it was very, very pitchy. But let me know what you got. Did you guys watch the Verses? Let me know what you guys thought about the Verses down in the comment section below. And we are going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys, so some new music talk. So now I want to say I am a big Drake fan, but I haven't listened to his album yet. So I need to go listen to Drake's album. And once I listen to Drake's album, I will come back to you guys and let you guys know what I think about Drake's album. But if you guys have heard Drake's album, if you guys like Drake's album, please tell me in the comment section, how many tracks, first of all, how many tracks are on his album? That I don't know. I have not looked at it. The last thinking about Drake, because I'm a big fan of Drake, I know every album except for Certified Lover Boy. I tried to listen to Certified Lover Boy. That first song on the album, I was like, what the hell is this? And I said, you know what? I can love Drake from a distance because this album just ain't for me. I was gonna go back and listen to Certified Lover Boy. I have not. But let's talk about Beyonce. You guys know I love me some Beyonce. So Beyonce's new song came out this week. What is the name of it? I don't forgot what the name of it is. But her song, when I heard, so I saw it when it hit YouTube, and I was listening to it. I was like, oh, I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting sound for Beyonce. It's not something that you would expect, the house music, but this isn't something that you would expect from Beyonce. But I'm like, okay. I turned it off. No lie. I gotta be honest with you guys. I turned it off. I was like, okay, you know what? We will try this again later. So I think it was Wednesday that I was driving to work. I was like, you know what? Let's listen to this song again. So first initial listen, I wasn't feeling it, and that was gonna be hard for me. I'm like, how am I a huge Beyonce fan, and I'm ready for this concert, and this song is gonna be something that she's gonna perform, and I'm gonna be one of the only people that's sitting down at the concert. I'm like, I can't. So I listened to it again, and I was like, okay, it's not bad. It's catchy. Then I really, and I love the fact that Big Frida's on there. So I started listening to it more. I was like, okay, you fucks with it. Now, this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but this is me and my love for Beyonce. I don't like when Beyonce raps. I'm not the biggest fan of when Beyonce raps. Me and my best friend, we actually had a conversation about Beyonce rapping. She loves when Beyonce raps. I don't. I'm not. I prefer when Beyonce sings. I do love, now when she does rap. You know, I still go up for it. So I'm not saying I don't go for Beyonce when she raps. I just don't. It's not. I would prefer her to give me a dance song, you know, a ballad, something. But the rap, I can give. It's a give or take with it. It's a give or take. It's a give or take. But hey, that's really all it is. Let me know if you guys have listened to Beyonce's song, and you know, we'll discuss it in the comment section below. I still want to know what the fuck is in that goddamn box that I just bought last week. I still have the slightest idea what I purchased in this damn box. I still feel like a goddamn fool. But hey, that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about Beyonce's new song. Let me know if you guys have listened to it. Also, let me know what you guys think about Drake's new album, if you have listened to that. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward. Alright, guys, so let's talk about some VH1. Let's do some VH1 talk real quick. So, VH1 shows. VH1 used to be my go-to for reality shows back in the day. Flavor of Love, Rock of Love, Charm School, Real Chance of Love, For the Love of Ray J. What else? I Love Money. Surreal Life. That's coming back pretty soon, isn't it? The Surreal Life. Then after those shows kind of ended, because that's when VH1 did VH1 kind of shifted from that kind of reality TV to what we got now. Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink Crew, Mob Wives. Oh my God, I miss Mob Wives. Rest in peace to Big Ange. Mob Wives, Basketball Wives LA, Basketball Wives Miami, Baseball Wives, Football Wives. What was the other show? Hollywood Exes, Atlanta Exes, all those kind of shows. That was like back in the early 2000s. VH1 was the go-to for ratchet reality TV, and I've pretty much watched. I've watched actually, I ain't know pretty much. I've watched every reality show that has hit VH1 up until these later years. I haven't watched all of them. There's some that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to watch that. Like Couples Retreat, I don't watch that. Like, I don't watch that often. But Black Ink Crew was one of those shows that I watched it from the very first season of New York, and I've continued to follow it. But over the years with Black Ink Crew, I have fallen off. The first time I fell off with Black Ink Crew New York was when Duchess, when it just looked like C's was letting her overtake his shop, and she thought she was the boss. That was the first time I dipped out on Black Ink Crew New York, and then I eventually came back when Duchess left the show. And I was in and out. of that for quite some time. Same way with Black. You guys know for a fact how I am with Chicago. That I'm definitely hot and cold when it comes to Chicago. I'll start reviewing Chicago, and I won't ever finish with Chicago. There's only been there's only been like 2 seasons that I can tell you that I finished of Chicago. Other than that, I always end it before the season ends. So Black Ink Crew New York, with them, I've had some issues because, well, when I won't say had issues. One of the reasons why I didn't review New York was because of Sky. I just couldn't deal with Sky and all that goddamn screaming that she would do. That would annoy me because it's like I can't sit here and listen to Sky scream every fucking episode. It was just annoying. And now the last season that I can tell you guys that I faithfully watched of New York was the season when I think it was when Walt got married, when they had their wedding, and then at the wedding when Tati and Teddy pretended to get married and Scott threw that chair at them. That was the last season that I fully watched of New York. And Chicago, I didn't watch this last season that they had. I didn't finish it. I started it, but I didn't finish it. I didn't even review it. I started it, but I just did not finish that last season of Chicago. Compton, you guys know I reviewed the whole first season of Compton. And the interesting thing, I have an issue with Compton because with Black Ink Crew Compton, Viacom took down my season finale review of Black Ink Crew Compton because of the photo that I had, and it's a public photo that they use for promotional use, but they took it down. They took it down because of the fair rights use. But I'm like, y'all have it posted on your website. That's where I got it from. So they took that entire video down, and then this past season that ended, I did not review that because I couldn't get with KP and Tim. I think I might pick it up back in the second half because they're still filming, and I might pick it up in the second half. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind about that one yet. We shall see. But Black Ink Crew, I think it's time for them. What a lot of the VH1 shows, I think it's time for them to scrap them and come up with something. If they don't scrap them, they need to do an overhaul. But with the Black Ink Crew franchise, I don't know how they can do an overhaul unless they find another black tattoo artist in that area where they're filming. Kind of like, well, I know with Black Ink Crew Compton, they brought in Kat and her crew. So unless they kick KP and his crew to the curb, that'll be an overhaul for me. New York is probably gone because of what happened with C's this week. So I didn't know anything about it until I got on Twitter and I saw people tweeting about C's beating his dog. And I was like, he beat his dog. I'm like, okay. So then I went to TMZ and I saw that video. So you see the dog. I don't know if he put the dog outside of the house. I don't know what happened with that. But you see the dog outside. Then you see C's come outside. He kicked the dog. Then he took a folding chair. He folded the chair up and he whopped. I mean, he hit the dog more than once. And I was like, damn. I don't know what that dog... There's nothing that dog could have done to deserve what C's did to it. That is despicable. And I'm a dog lover. I love dogs. And I know, like you guys have saw me post pictures on my Instagram of my dog. Well, she's not mine, but she's my cousin's dog, Charlie. I love my baby Charlie. She's the sweetest she's sweet. And she was a rescue animal. And she was abused by her previous owner. And when they first got her, she didn't like me. And I think it's because just of the abuse that she endured from her previous owner, that anybody that would come around her, she would growl and bark at anytime you would see her. And it wasn't just me, it was anybody that didn't know her like that. She would growl and she would bark at you. But then after my mom died, that's when she and I became inseparable. She was in like, when my mom passed away, I went to stay with my cousin them. And that whole entire time that I was there, she was right by my side. She never left me. Like, she literally just, when I would go to sleep, she would come and sleep right beside me. When I would sit down, and she would come and sit right beside me, and I would just pet her. And she does that still to this day. Whenever she sees me, I come to the house. She is the first one to the door, and when they open the door, she jumps up and she is all over me. And even the last time I spent the night with them, when I was sitting in the room, she would come to the door and she would peek in. I'd be like, "Come on in, Charlie. Come here, girl." And I would just just scratch her head. I just can't imagine somebody beating a dog. Like, what pleasure do you? I don't understand what a person gets out of attacking an innocent animal. What do you get from that? And I also have an issue with VH1. So VH1 has now severed ties with C's. Now, they, like I said, with Compton, they were still filming the back half of their season, and so was New York. They were still filming the back half of their current season. So they're going to air that season, but after that, they're done with C's. And I'm like, wow. So it took for C's to beat a dog for you guys to part ways with him. But C's was accused by his daughter of abusing her. And it just goes to show in this country that these people don't care about black people, children, or women. But you attack a dog, baby, you're done. And I just think that's kind of asinine. It's stupid to me that you can attack a dog and all hell breaks loose. But a child, a woman, a black person, or a minority, or even a minority, they don't give a fuck. Like, I was on Twitter last night and I saw this post from Newsmax, and they were talking about Juneteenth, and they were talking about how with Juneteenth, it's just for us to celebrate, to get out there and drink, smoke weed, party, and shoot. And then when they showed the shootings, it wasn't even a shooting. When they showed the protest from 2020, I was like, wow, is that what y'all really think of us? And then I saw somebody who left a very good point in the comments of that tweet. It says, so guns are bad when it's in the hands of black people, but when it's not in the hands of black people, it's fine. Like, they don't want to say that. They try to skirt around that. They love to skirt around that, because when like on The View, when Joy made the point on The View that when black people start getting guns, that's when they're going to make some changes to the gun laws. Then the white people were on Twitter talking about Joy is racist. Joy is racist. No, Joy is not racist. And y'all know exactly what the fuck Joy meant. The minute our black asses get these assault rifles and start shooting them motherfuckers, that's when you're going to start seeing some goddamn gun reform. They're not going to want black people to have those assault rifles. Then they're going to start posting these pictures of black people with assault rifles. That is a small percentage. Like, what? And then they talk about, well, what about Chicago? I hate when people use that talking point. What about Chicago? Chicago is one city in one state. Like, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that that VH1 has something to say now. They want to fire Season now because he attacked the dog, and not when he was attacking his daughter. And especially, that was one reason why I stopped watching New York. When Season, his daughter, children can be rebellious. I was a rebellious teen. But when C's took the side of his girlfriend over his child, I was like, you know what, fuck C's. Like, Crystal used to annoy me when I was watching the show. But girl, Crystal, do whatever you got to do to C's. Have at it. So while we're talking about VH1, let's talk about T.I. So you guys, T.I. is upset that VH1 canceled Friends and Family Hustle. I don't know what Clifford was thinking, what he was sniffing, what he was smoking. Why would VH1 want to continue that motherfucking show when you got these women accusing you of sexual assault? That is a lie. That is a liability to VH1. That is a liability to anybody that is associated with you. Nobody wants to be associated with a person that is being accused of being a abuser. So I don't know, because remember, why is T.I. just upset with VH1? You're not upset with Disney. You're not upset with Marvel because you got dropped from Ant-Man as well. So it wasn't just VH1. You lost a whole lot of gigs because of that. Now honestly, you guys, I haven't kept up with that case, so I don't know what happened between T.I., Tiny, and that whole situation with Miss Sabrina Patterson. I don't know what the hell happened. Honestly, I don't care what happened. I'm kind of happy to not see T.I. on my TV screen trying to use them big ass words, and it nigga just annoys me. So yeah, I'm kind of happy to not see T.I. on my screen, but I'm just kind of thinking to myself like, what did Clifford expect for people to do? Like, oh yeah, let's still work with him despite the fact that there's all these allegations out there against him. Nah, man, ain't nobody finna do that dumb shit. That is some dumb shit, and I don't know what he was expecting. I don't know what T.I. was thinking or expecting, but you guys, let's talk about it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this situation with C's. Disgusting is what it is. Let me know if you guys have been watching Black Ink Crew, Compton, New York, and Chicago in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys are on T.I.'s side, thinking that VH1 should have kept doing business with him. And you guys, we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward. All right, guys, so the next story that I want to talk about is this situation with Chris Brown and Normani. So, honestly, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I used to be a Chris Brown fan back when he first came out, like in 06, when I was in high school. I was a huge fan of Chris Brown back then. But then I kind of fell off of Chris Brown. And I think for me, it didn't have anything to do with the situation between he and Rihanna. It didn't have anything. It wasn't, he abused Rihanna, let me stop listening to him. It wasn't really that, because I still did listen to him after that time period. But I didn't condone what he did to Rihanna. And I think I've talked about that recently, where I had a class. I was actually in college when that happened, and I had a classmate that she was like, well, Rihanna gave Chris Brown herpes. And I was like, even if that is the case, that doesn't justify a man, that don't justify him putting his hands on that woman. And I asked her, like, so if you had a STD and you didn't know at the time, and you gave it to your boyfriend and he whipped your ass, is that fine? Like, I think people just try to justify things, and I think that, and it makes absolutely no sense, because that made no sense. He would allegedly beat her ass because she allegedly has herpes. How does that work? Like, that makes no sense. So Chris Brown he released a new song this week. I don't know what the name of his song is, but I know that in the video Normani is in there. You guys, I really love Normani. Wildside let me know that she is so talented, but her talent, I don't know if it is her management. It's got to be her management, because Normani should be bigger than what she currently is, because Mama is talented. Like, I wish that she would get with Parkwood, because look at what they're doing with Chloe Bailey. Chloe has 3 singles. We had her song, Lord Have Mercy, her last single, I forgot what the name of it is, and then this new one, Surprise. Baby Surprise is a good song. I just want the best for her. I wish she would get a great team that will get behind her and really promote her music, because I don't feel like her team does a good enough job for her. I don't think that her team does a great job. So Normani is in his video and they're dancing. So I saw on Twitter on Twitter and Instagram where Normani is getting a lot of backlash for being in his video. And I did see one of her fans tweet to her like that she was a victim of domestic violence, and that made her look at Normani quite differently. And I was like, okay, I don't completely understand it, because I've never been abused like that. So I can't really speak to how a person would feel seeing that. But my issue is Normani isn't the only woman that has worked with Chris Brown as of lately. You guys, Her worked with him, and I love that song with Chris Brown and Her. And I didn't see her receive any backlash from working with Chris Brown. So I'm kind of confused as to why Normani is getting the backlash. And you guys, and the thing is, when it comes to Chris Brown, you guys know Rihanna has forgiven him, and she's moved on. Rihanna, during the pandemic, the reason why I know about that song with Chris Brown and her is because of Rihanna. Because if it wasn't for Rihanna, I would have never known about that damn song. Because Rihanna had it playing in a background of one of her Instagram videos, and I was like, that song sounds good. And I knew it was Chris Brown. I was like, oh, that's her. Like, Rihanna had that song playing in her background. So, and I get it. You can't tell people how to feel. I just don't understand. You guys are mad at Normani. And the question that I have is, that's business for her. That's money. So is she supposed to say, because Chris Brown did this, and now that has been that's been well over 10 years ago. That was in 2009, 2008, 2009 when it happened. And I'm not saying that people just need to be like, oh, it happened, let's move forward and get on with our lives. But I just don't know what people were expecting from Normani. Like I said, there have been many women that have worked with Chris Brown. Do I think Chris Brown has changed? I don't know, because he still has some ways about him that I just don't necessarily particularly like and agree with. More specifically, the colorist side of him, because he gives colorist, and he specifically has a type. But I just didn't understand the whole backlash that Normani was being subjected to. I just wonder, because even if it wasn't Normani, it would have been someone else in that video, and would you guys have then been mad at that person? I just don't understand it. But if you guys, were upset at Normani, please drop down in the comment section and make me understand, because I definitely do want to understand because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. But if you guys can make me understand what the issue is, I'm here. I'm here to listen. Like, I'm not judging anybody for being upset with her. I just didn't understand the backlash. I didn't understand the backlash she received. But let me know in the comment section below, and we're gonna pause here and. Alright, guys, so next up, let's talk about Andrew Gillum. When you think about Andrew Gillum, there is never nothing good in the news about him. He is always riddled with a scandal. He is always riddled with a scandal. I guess it's a good thing that he didn't win that governor position down there, and I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Because Ron DeSantis is a dumbass. I don't know how anybody could have voted for Ron DeSantis. Every time I see that man on television, I'm just like, this fool is an idiot. Florida, I hope y'all vote Ron DeSantis out too. Just like I hope Texas vote out Wheelchair Willie. I really hope Florida votes out Ron DeSantis, because DeSantis is a dumbass. But I think with a lot of those Republicans, that they are really just basically saying things that are dog whistles to who's base. Because I think a lot of them have political aspirations of running for president at some point. And I think that's why they say the dumb shit. They say the dumb shit that they say. They do the dumb shit that they do. They try to pass these dumbass laws that they try to pass to appease to who's base. So they can be like, oh, he's on our side. So if he tries to run for president, we got his back. Absolutely not. So, Andrew Gillum. Now, you guys remember the first scandal with Andrew Gillum was when he was in that hotel room and with the man and with the drugs. And I saw, I think was it Tamron Hall that they were on some kind of interview. His wife was there with him. She said she knew about it and she was okay with it, but her body language, that woman's body language spoke higher volumes than what her mouth was saying. That woman, when I looked at the woman, it looked like she was thinking to herself, this nigga here that got me in so much shit. Like, you motherfucker, if I could leave you, I would. Well, she probably got, she probably got her way out now. Just saying. So Andrew Gillum was indicted on 21 counts. He was indicted on 21 counts connected to campaign wire fraud. So it's him and another person. So what it is this took place between, they say, between 2016 and 2019, where basically they were, I mean, in a nutshell, they were misappropriating money from his campaign. You know, I would never, because when you think about these, when these people run for office and how they have to raise money, I couldn't. I couldn't, because that's what's going on with you know who too. Like I just couldn't. I could not. So if they're convicted, they face a maximum of 20 years in prison. Damn. Was it really worth it when you in the grand scheme of things? Was it really worth it? Because it just doesn't sound like it was. 20 years in prison behind fraud. I'd rather be broke. I'd rather be broke than rich, because when you think of, I mean, you got people that have tax issues, wire fraud, all these kind of issues. When it comes to, when you get more money, you know, people try to find loopholes around things, and baby, I don't want those issues, because Uncle Sam is going to get his money one way or the other. Yep, that's all I got. Hope things go well for you, Andrew. But I feel like with Andrew Gillum, I don't feel like he's going to get the maximum 20 years. He's going to get some time, but I don't think it's going to be that full 20 years. I don't think it's going to be the full 20 years. But yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys think about that, and we are going to move on to the last two stories of the week. All right, you guys, so the next story up is, honestly, when it comes to Bill Cosby, I could go the rest of my life never seeing that man, never hearing his name, never mentioning him. I could literally go the rest of my life and pretend that he doesn't exist. But you know, I think I'm one of the few people that never saw for Bill Cosby. I was never a fan of the Cosby. I was. Let me take this back. I liked the Cosby Show, but I was never a fan of Bill Cosby. His type of comedy to me is not funny. He is a he's a corny comedian, in my personal opinion. He's a corny kind of comedian. I like the Cosby Show. I just don't like. I've never, ever liked Bill Cosby. I was never a fan of his. When he used to host, what was that show? Kids Say the Darndest Thing. I used to watch that back in the day, and he's just not funny to me. The man is not funny to me. Me personally, JB. These are my opinions. I've never found Bill Cosby to be funny. Never once in my life did I say, "Oh my God," I just died laughing at a Bill Cosby. The Cosby Show, yes. Bill Cosby himself, fuck no. So Bill Cosby is back in the news once again with another sexual assault case. It's like, damn. And then when you look at Bill Cosby from back in the day, I'm like, the man, the way he looks now, and even back then, I never saw the appeal. I would have never saw any kind of appeal for that man. So yeah, he's back in the news with another sexual assault case. So this one dates back to 1975 with a Jennifer Huth, Huth. So she was 16 years old at the time, and this incident occurred at the Playboy Mansion. The only question that I have about that is, it's nothing against her. How did she get in the... But you know what? There's things about Hugh Hefner. So I was going to ask, how did a 16-year-old get to the Playboy Mansion? But stranger things happen. So she was sexually assaulted at the Playboy Mansion by Bill Cosby. So I didn't even really know much about this case until I just saw it on social media. What was it, Wednesday or yesterday? I didn't know too much about it, but it was a jury, I think, of 4 men and 6 women. I think that's what it was. 4 men and 6 women. And they came back yesterday with a verdict. So they found him guilty of sexual assault against this lady. I think she's now 64 years old. And they've awarded her $500,000. And Bill Cosby he plans to appeal the decision. Bill Cosby, I think it's time for you to sit your old raggedy ass down somewhere and just enjoy. I mean, you got out of prison, and I think you should just enjoy the last few years of your life. And I'm not being shady or mean or anything like that. You in the later half of your life, just sit the fuck down and enjoy your life and leave people the fuck alone. But you know what? With Bill Cosby, the prison system, they couldn't keep him in prison. But Bill Cosby's going to have to answer when he goes up or down. Wherever the hell he goes, Bill Cosby's going to have to answer for the shit that he has done in his life. And it's just disgusting when you think about people like Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. The list goes on. When you think about men who have power and they use that power, they exert that power onto women who they are Kelly, when they use that power to lure these women in, abuse them, and sometimes they know that these women either want to be an actress, a singer, or whatever. They take that and they're like, oh, you want to do this? Well, if you want it so badly, you're going to have to sleep with me. That is disgusting to me. I just think that that is the nastiest shit you can do. And you are despicable. You're not even a man. You're a weak ass person that preys on helpless women. That is repugnant to me. But yeah, Bill Cosby, sit your old ass down somewhere, you guys. And let's pause here and wrap up this week's Hot Topics. All right, guys. So the last thing is, I guess we can give a congratulations to Janae, Aiko, and Big Sean. I don't know. So the news came out that these two are expecting their first child together. Now, I haven't saw if it's been confirmed or not, if they are in fact expecting a child. But if they are, congratulations are in order to the happy couple. That is all you got. That's gonna wrap it up for Hot Topics this week, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about all the topics. Drop down in the comment section and subscribe to the channel. We do this every single week, same time, same place, same channel. And I am your host, JB, and I will see you guys next time. So I will see you guys actually Saturday for Love and Marriage Huntsville and DC, and then Sunday we got The Shy is back on Sunday, P Valley, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love Match Atlanta season finale, and the BET Awards, you guys. So I'll see you guys for all of that, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.